Okay, and welcome to this week's Link for Growth Southwest Hearts TV show. As usual, you can get in touch with us via Twitter at L4G Hearts. That's L4G Hearts. And we have a fully packed out show. Tania is away, so I'll be covering all of the news items. But Neal is back this week, and Chris is out and about. He's finally decided who he's going to interview. And Catherine is with me to bring all the local charity and events news as usual. So the first person who's going to tell us about what's happening up is Catherine. What have you got for us today then, Catherine?
Hi Diane, hi everybody. Yeah, I've got some charity news, various things going on with some of our local charities. We've got news about the Imagine Festival coming to Watford again, all looks very exciting. We've got a school in Hemel that's doing a midnight walk, raising money for charity. And we've got lots of things going on at our local venues, Watford Coliseum and the Palace Theatre, and lots of other things in between. I shall tell you all about that later.
Okay. Well, we have reaction from Richard Harrington on the tragic events yesterday. It happened to Joe Cox near Leeds. We also have a whole lot of information about how you can see how Watford Borough Council spend your money. And do you know a local hero? And we can learn a little bit about Watford's history, and there's an opportunity for everyone to take part in something tomorrow. And Neal, welcome back.
Hello.
Hi, an auspicious week. Football season tickets, fixtures have been announced.
Yep, we'll be having a look at the fixtures and seeing what the start of the season is going to be like for Watford, and I'll have some local sports news as well.
Okay, that's absolutely great. And Chris, you finally decided where you're going to go, and you're down in Croxley Green.
Yep, I'm down here in Croxley. I'm waiting for the person that I'm going to be talking to. He's not here yet, which means I'm in the middle of a field, really, on my own with a few people. But they're not the people I'm going to be interviewing. So I'm going to have to you have to bear with me. I'm just going to blurt in and interrupt you a bit later on when I'm good to go.
Okay, fine. Okay, so it's going to be one of those shows where we...
I'm afraid so. If you get me on the show, Diane, you've got to be expecting random.
Oh, yes, Christopher. Right, okay, well, let's talk about Link for Growth in the past weeks. We had a Link for Drinks last night, so Chris can organise a binge in a pub, which is nice to know. He's not totally random. We had a few people turn up, slight numbers were down, probably because of football and other events that are happening locally. So, but it was still quite an interesting turnout, and there's lots of interesting conversations going on. On Monday morning, there was a Link for Coffee at Reason Cafe, and last Saturday, Chris was at Barracuda next to Watford Market to meet a few people and to talk about what Link for Growth does. So, whilst we're waiting for Chris to join us, I shall start with some of the news. Watford Observer is quoting Richard Harrington as saying that the murder of Joe Cox yesterday, the Labour MP for Birdsall in West Yorkshire, was a random act of nonsensical violence. He went on to praise her work to do with Syrian refugees, and said he knew Joe quite well from her advocacy for Syrian refugees and for the plight of the people inside Syria and those in danger around the world. She worked on these issues, which he works on as part of his ministerial role, and he was hugely respectful of her thoughtful contributions, and he was also impressed by how much she had to say and to do on the subject, and that she made a significant mark in Parliament, considering she was only there for a year or so, since she was elected for the first time last year. The man is in custody, and police are still investigating more about it. Mike Penning, the MP for Hemel, also said he likes to think that he likes to think that everyone is unbelievably shocked by what happened to Jo. I was with her only last week in the House of Commons tug of war, and to think she was there so vibrant and energetic and so passionate about charity. You know, she was stolen from us, from her family, from her constituency in this way. It's the most devastating thing I've ever experienced during my time in Parliament. Watford Labour Group last night cancelled a meeting after hearing the news. So obviously it's had a big impact with local politicians, although she wasn't a local politician herself. But the causes that she worked on and everything, I think, affected our local representatives, our local MPs, and local Labour supporters as well. So hopefully this is the last such thing we have of this nature. Now, every year we give Watford Council an awful lot of money via our council tax. And as from the 1st of July until the 12th of August, between 9 and 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, you can come and see the annual statement of accounts for the financial year 2015 to 2016 at Watford Town Hall. Now, it might sound a really dry subject and everything, but if you are interested in the way that local government and local democracy works, it's a great way of finding out how the money is spent, where it's spent, and quite often why they spend it in that area. Being a public body, a local government body, you can also get your you can also ask questions of the auditors during the same period as well. The links for all this is available through Watford Borough Council on their website, which is watford.gov.uk, and then click on the news, and that will then you can then click through to the article that explains the dates and the terms and conditions for viewing these things. But basically,
hello, Diane.
Then please do it. Chris.
Yes, Diane. I've heard through the grapevine that my contact isn't going to be here. So what I've done is I've improvised.
Okay.
Right? I hope you like my new haircut as well, by the way, which I've just had done. I just thought I'd sneak that in while I was on air. But anyway, I've got Linda here, who's come down to introduce me to people, and you're going to be able to see Linda in a second. Now, the reason I brought Linda down here is because she knows this Croxley Revels business very, very well. Can you see her there, all right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Now, there is something else, though, before we move on, because Joe Cox, not personally, but Linda knew a lot of people who knew Joe Cox quite well through her Oxfam days. So just a little bit about Joe then, because you were pretty devastated when I spoke to you yesterday about it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it wasn't expecting to talk about it, and I don't want to get emotional, but I think those of us that worked in aid agencies and, lobbying Parliament, and for my colleagues, a lot of them actually worked directly with Jo and knew her personally. It's been absolutely devastating that somebody that was, putting her whole life into try to improve things for people, make the world a better place. All sounds cliches at a time like this, but to hear that she's gone, and especially leaving Brendan and the kids, such a young family, I think none of us feel quite the same. None of us feel quite ourselves today.
Okay, so there you go. That's someone who actually was quite close to her compared to what the rest of us were, and she was an amazing woman. So anyway, we are here to talk about
Croxley Revels.
Now, I don't know whether you can see this, Diane, but there's people out there on the field. They're marking out ready for tomorrow. I'm not sure what they're marking out for. So what's this Croxley Revels business all about? I've lived in Watford all my life.
I know, I can't believe you don't know about it.
Of this Croxley Revels. I thought it was a bag of sweets.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, what is so special about this Croxley Revels?
Okay, so every year, on the same Saturday in June, the whole community comes together on the green and revels. So pretty much every local community group, a lot of the local businesses, schools, churches will be here. They will perhaps have a stall, so they might be displaying something about what they do. They might be selling things. There will be a big arena with an MC who will launch the proceedings. It begins with the crowning of the Revels Queen and her attendants. The schools compete in things like pushball competitions.
Who gets to be a queen then? What's that all about?
Well, somebody is chosen from one of the local primary schools. Okay. I have to admit, I'm not privy to how the princess is chosen, but it's very special because she gets to ride in the special car in the procession, which actually leaves the green and goes all around Croxley, and then comes back. The floats are judged, and the local schools all compete against each other to have the very best float. So it's a tradition that dates back to I believe John Betjeman said to the 1950s. I believe so. Quite an old tradition.
So we're on the green. So you can see this. This is the green. It's like it's at the end of Croxley, really, isn't it? It's sort of in between.
Or the beginning, whichever way you're coming from.
Yeah. Weather's supposed to be quite good. What time does it start?
So about 1 o'clock through till about 5 o'clock. The procession leaves here. It's either at 1 or 2. I'm not prepared because I thought you were going to be talking to one of the organisers.
Yeah, wow.
So for that period, the stalls are sort of open. By about 3 o'clock, it will be absolutely heaving high. So where it looks very, very empty now, tomorrow, you won't be able to move really. I think that's Barry's just arrived actually.
So
it's very exciting. I think you might, Barry. Oh, he's just pacing out and finding a hole, and then I think, this might be this may be for the maypole. I'm not sure, and I wouldn't want to get you too excited, but this may be for the maypole, because the brownies will dance around the maypole tomorrow afternoon.
But wasn't the maypole supposed to be May the 1st, or is that?
I think people do dance around maypoles on May the 1st, but there is a display of maypole dancing every year at the revels. John Betchman refers to it in his discourse about Metroland.
And okay, so Morris dancers, can we expect those, or?
I don't think I've ever seen. I don't know. There may be Morris dancers here. I would imagine there might be. Yes.
So, are people going to be able to get food here, drinks here, that kind of stuff?
Absolutely. So, catering would be provided. I mean, there'll probably be some burger or ice cream van type catering, but also the local community. So, St Oswald, St Bede's, the churches will normally have like tea and cake. People like Cinnamon Square will be here. Some of the local businesses.
Any other cake shops you might know about?
No, the kitchen won't be here tomorrow. Unfortunately, we will be open for people with weary legs walking home to get a nice cup of tea on their way home.
Right. So, in the absence of being able to grab Barry, Diane, is there anything that you need questions? Have you got any questions or answers to?
Well,
I'm hoping we will grab Barry.
It's
further away there. That is Barry. Right?
I've logged into their web page, and the vehicle procession will assemble at 12:45, and walkers at 1 p.m. for judging. The procession will leave the green at 1:30 and travel around the routes as shown, which is obviously basically a tour of the village and down Barton Way and New Road, and then the green and
Barton Way.
Barton Way, yeah.
Yeah, there's a park there, I think.
Yeah. So,
okay.
You better move your car then, haven't you? And stills will open at 1:30, and there's going to be tug of war. There's going to be some dance group, taekwondo demonstration, gymnastics by the Herts Gymnastics Club. Maypole dancing, more tug of war. Obviously, tug of war's a big thing in Croxley, Chris.
Tug of war, apparently, as well.
Usually, there would be a tug of war.
And something called pushball.
Pushball. So what's pushball?
Well, the local schools will push a ball. I'm not quite sure how they win, but somebody obviously does. And usually it falls with rain at that point in the proceeding.
So normally it rains, Diane, apparently, when the push ball is proceeding. Apparently that's tradition.
Yeah.
Right, okay, well that's on at 4:30, so, if you want to see that, you can. And, yes, as I said, it started in 1920, so it has been going near enough.
Exciting.
Say that again.
I said it started in 1920, so it's obviously been going on.
It's nearly the centennial, isn't it? If it's 1920.
Yes. I don't know how many years we're missing because of wars and Second World War and stuff like that. But
I have heard, I think it might be coming.
Anyway, okay. Well, I think we've covered that. It looks as though it's going to be a fun day out and a big community event, and it looks as though there'll be lots of things to do there as well, especially if you like the war.
Yes, I think it's going to be quite an interesting day, and I might actually try and get down here myself actually and see what's going on. So that'll be a first for me. Reporting next week for you.
Okay, that would be great. Okay, thanks, Chris. We look forward to seeing your YouTube video on the event.
Okay, thank you. Bye now.
Okay. Thanks, and bye, and thank you to Linda as well.
Thanks to Linda as well. There you go.
Okay. And okay, if you're not going to Croxley Festival and you want to find out more about the history of Watford and its aristocratic past, then you're invited to an archaeological dig. And they have an open day tomorrow between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m, which marks the penultimate day of 2 weeks of excavation to investigate the site of the past demolished Georgian Swiss cottage. The open day is organised by South West Herts Archaeology and Historical Society, and it will allow you to learn more about the site, talk to archaeologists and see the uncovered artefacts. Plus there'll be tours of the site during the excavation, an art exhibition, family archives, and the opportunity to learn more about the history of the park. Swiss cottage and grounds were used for picnics and parties for the Earl of Essex family and friends, and included a small museum. School groups were also allowed to use the building. It's not known when the cottage was built, but the 5th Earl of Essex started extensive refurbishments to Glastonbury House and Park from about 1800. The building was demolished in the 1940s. The elected mayor of Watford, Dorothy Thornhill, says that Glastonbury Park is during Watford's crown. The council bought the majority of the park between 1908 and 1913 and we've kept it in tip-top condition ever since. We love it there and there's so much history to learn about. And she's encouraging everyone to go along for a fantastic, enjoyable and educational day out. So if you are interested in the history of Watford, then that's something definitely for you with the archaeological dig. Do you know a local hero? It's time for the Audenti Awards again, and you can nominate them. Every year, Watford Borough Council look for people who have done great works in the charities locally in Watford. There are 6 awards. There's the Mayor's Award, the Chairman's Award for Volunteer of the Year, the Charitable Group Award, Charitable Business Award, the Lillington Prize Display Award, and the Mayor's Sporting Achievement Award, which is awarded to an individual. The Lillington Prize Disability Award focus has been extended, so it does not simply cover disabled access to business premises, but Mayor Thornhill wants to recognise the efforts and achievements of individuals or groups with disabilities, so it can apply to clubs, charities or a workplace. The nominations for the award have to be filled in via the Watford Borough Council website before Thursday the 7th of July. The award ceremony will, as usual, take place at the Watford Coliseum later on in the year. This is the 13th year these awards have been run, and it's the way of rewarding townspeople who have gone above and beyond the call of duty. So if you know anyone, you want to nominate them, and I've been lucky enough to know a couple of previous winners, and they've been humbled by receiving this award because they do all of this work voluntarily and without any thought or consideration of their own efforts, and you want to say thank you to them, then please do consider nominating them for the Audenti Awards. So,
interesting to note as well that the Watford Borough Council coat of arms, which used to say Audentia on it,
yeah,
now doesn't.
now says be bold.
Indeed, yeah, which isn't actually a direct translation of Audentia. Audentia means with greater boldness. So be bold isn't quite covering it all, but I think the philosophy behind it was having asked various people on the street, the council decided that actually nobody knew what Audentia meant. So, I hasten to say they've dumbed it down for us, but there is now a translation that people understand, I suppose.
Well, no, I think you're right. I think they have dumbed it down.
Yes, with greater boldness.
Yes, I think is much more apt. And the other thing is, speaking personally, I quite like a bit of Latin in a coat of arms type of thing, because I think it just sort of like adds to the to the quality of the award.
Absolutely, yes, I agree.
Yeah. And nominating people for the Be Bold Award doesn't have quite the same ring, does it?
Not really. No. It sounds like a game show to me. But there you go. But it's still a prestigious award, and people should look online and nominate away.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Okay, so Catherine will be talking more about specific events for the Imagine Watford. But just to say, it returns for its 6th year starting this Friday. That's the 24th, and it goes on to the 3rd of July. Programme as usual is put forward by, developed by Watford Palace Theatre with funding from Watford Borough Council. The festival transforms Watford Town Centre into a place of wonder and excitement, with its biggest and best lineup to date. There are a whole range of activities going on, and Catherine will be highlighting some of the details of this first couple of days later on in the show. But it's always a big event. I remember last year setting up at the top of the parade, there were people who were sort of like 40, 50 foot up on a crane and floodlit at night.
It was incredible, wasn't it? And we didn't quite know what was happening. It was just watching it unfold, wasn't it? It was really quite remarkable.
It was, and it was spectacular, and it was a great night. And there were lots of crowds. Let's hope the weather's going to be good and that more people turn up, because all the events take place on the parade in Watford. All events are free, no tickets are needed, none of this signing on to Eventbrite or anything like that. It's just turn up and have fun.
Enjoy, yeah, good.
So anyway, but you're going to be talking to us more about the exact specific events later on in the show, aren't you?
Yes, I will do.
Good. Okay. And Hertsmere, they proclaimed the successful inaugural Silver Streets event, which was aimed to advise at advising older residents on how to avoid becoming victims of crime. Hertfordshire Community Safety Partnership staged its first ever event, which was a coffee morning in Boreham Wood on Tuesday. Partner agencies came together at the Foundation Court in Brook Road for an informal advice-giving question-and-answer session with around a dozen of the residents. Residents who attended were also provided with purse belts, secret pockets, personal alarms, and card defenders. PCSO officer John Hainsworth and Karen Marchant spoke about the important role they in the CSP, Community Safety Partnership, plays in preventing crime in the area. And there was also a talk from Sue Shannon from Hertfordshire Trading Standards, who spoke about how to spot and avoid rogue traders and scams. So obviously it was a great opportunity for the residents to ask the speakers a lot of questions, and they were keen to receive as much advice as possible, and they're going to be looking forward to run further events in the near future. Quick reminder, we did talk about this last week. Tomorrow is an opportunity to bring along anything with a plug or a battery if it wants to be recycled, and it's an event that's happening between 10 and 3 p.m. at Wigan Hall Depot Car Park and Wigan Hall Road, Watford, WD 180FB. So if you've got an old monitor, an old electric toothbrush, an old iron, an old electric fan, toaster, microwave, etc., now is your TV, laptops, hairdryers, washing machines. Now is your opportunity to take along your stuff and get it recycled, and an opportunity for you to dispose of it in an environmentally friendly way. Some of these things might be broken down for spare parts, other parts of them will just go and be reused and recycled in other ways. So don't dump, just go along and drop your stuff off there tomorrow between 10 and 3. The other thing is Three Rivers Council have published a Schools Out in Three Rivers, which is a program which is the booklet that announces a program for all the summer holidays. That are going to activities are going to happen during the school summer holidays, and how to keep young people entertained. You can obtain your copy just by going to the Three Rivers District Council website, and downloading the events, which include play ranges, which will be running outdoor activities for 5 to 16-year-olds in 10 locations across the district from the end of July to the end of August. They're free sessions. There'll also be registered play schemes. There'll be free walks for nature lovers taking place in Leeson Country Park and Rickmansworth Aquadrome, where young people can discover the wildlife that surrounds them. For older children and teenagers, there will be an annual Skate Jam at Croxley Skate Park from the 5th to the 7th of August, in addition to regular supervised sessions. Croxley Skate School will be offering Saturday coaching at £5 a session. 225, which is not just another youth club, will run at 225 Baldwin's Lane, where 10 to 14-year-olds can turn up and join in many activities taking place daily. And the Parks Tennis is on offer every Saturday all year round at South Oxley Playing Fields and Scottsbridge, and offers coaching sessions at just £3. So there really is something for everything this summer happening in Three Rivers, as Councillor Chris Lloyd, leader and member for Leisure Community in Melbourne. We look forward to seeing young residents taking part and keeping active, most of all enjoying themselves during the summer holiday. You can download the brochure if you want from the, as I said, from the Three Rivers website, or you can call 01923 776611 for a free copy. So that's, you know, it's time to get planning because the school summer holidays are going to be with us shortly. Neil.
Hello.
Hello. Time for sport, and I suppose the big news and the place to start would be Watford's fixture list for the new season being announced.
Yeah, so this is a day everyone really looks forward to. I mean, it's a massive day last year, everyone waiting for the fixture list, but I guess it got buried a little bit under the European Championship. But yeah, big day. First game is away to Southampton, so that's a nice fixture. Southampton have just lost their manager too, so that's we're going to obviously got a new manager for the season, so it's all going to be up in the air. That'll be a lot of excitement over that one. But then it gets very difficult very quickly over the next few games. So Watford then have two home games, home to Chelsea and home to Arsenal. Then we're away to West Ham on the 10th of September and at home to Manchester United on the 17th of September. So it's quite a difficult start to the season for Watford.
Yeah, do you think it's going to be a bad start or difficult start and it's likely to continue, or do you see them getting points early doors?
Well, it's a difficult one. I mean, the way we ended the season, if we'd taken that form into the beginning, I would have been dreading these fixtures. But the new manager, he's going to want to prove himself. I'd expect to see us pick up some points with some of the players. It looks like we're trying to sign. We'll talk about that a bit later. Yeah, I can see us picking points up from this first 5 games. We walk away with 6 points after 5 games. That'll be fine.
Yeah, so because I mean, Watford had a brilliant start last year, much better than anyone ever expected, and then kind of the wheels came off the track. Yeah, soon after, during that Christmas run, where they had, to be fair, a bit of bad luck, but also they had 4 or 5 very tough games, you know, one after the other, didn't they? Yeah,
they did. But people forget, although we did overall have a good start to the season, last season started off very slowly. It was actually after the first 4 or 5 games that they started to pick up the points. So even if we didn't pick up any and we're near the bottom of the table after 5 games, it's really not a measure of anything that's going to happen for the rest of the season. Okay. Yeah, so over Christmas, the Christmas period, let's talk about that as well. We've got, I will say, the 17th is a game before Christmas, is away to Sunderland, so a long trip if you want to get away from some Christmas shopping. And then Boxing Day, Watford at home to Crystal Palace, and they're also at home on New Year's Eve to Tottenham, which is a nice game to have on New Year's Eve.
Okay, and the last game of the season?
Yeah, now this is where we certainly won't want to be looking for points to achieve anything at the end of the season, I don't think, because the run-in, we've got Manchester City on the last day of the season. It is at home, but you don't want to be going into that game with something needing points.
So again, I mean, we finished what, 14th or 13th? 13th. You predicted 14th, we finished 13th, I think, last season. I will.
Yeah, it's too early.
At a time. It's not fair to ask you now, but you need
too early for predictions. I need to see who we buy. I need to see some pre-season games, but I certainly don't expect us to go down anyway.
Right. Okay. Good. Okay. Early note of optimism. We can talk about how Gino Pozzo has sold Granada. The owner of Watford has sold the Spanish club he owns to a Chinese firm called Link International Sports.
Yes, and the good news as far as Watford are concerned is that they said they've sold it to concentrate on Udinese and Watford. So the initial thinking was they would make the three teams the whole time, like they have the last few years, but they sounds like they don't want to invest the money in the smaller Spanish side, trying to keep them in the league every year, and they've handed it over to the Chinese firm, like you say, Link for Sports, who have Link International Sports, who've got more money to spend on the project, so they can concentrate on Watford and Udinese.
Okay, that's good. Now, despite the Euros, there has been some interesting transfer speculation about Watford. We've very briefly discussed in the past thoughts of Deeney to Leicester, which seems to be a kind of constant background noise, which I don't think will happen from what you said at the time and what I've heard in other places. But they are close to agreeing a fee for a Juventus midfielder.
Yeah, so the Deeney thing's still ongoing. Leicester still keep coming back with bids, so but the club is still saying he's not going anywhere. So that's going to be a long-running saga, I think. I guess, do they raise their bid to such an amount that it turns the heads enough? But nothing we can say about that one right now. But yeah, Watford apparently are close to agreeing a fee for Juventus midfielder Roberto Pereira. Now, he only joined them at the beginning of the last season from Udinese, and they paid £25 million for him. Now, this shows the level of step up Watford are trying to achieve here. This is our record signings before was like 6 million, and we're looking to pay 15 million euros for this guy. The reason the money's gone down from what they paid for him is because actually he was injured a lot of the season, so he only played 16 games. But a quality player of the like you would have never expected to see at Watford. So let's hope they can go through, because he is being chased by other Premiership clubs. Hopefully him knowing the owners from Udinese will have some influence.
Okay, so a good signing, you think?
Yeah, attacking midfielder, which we lacked last year once. I can't remember his name. Once one of the players got injured, we didn't have any attacking midfielders really to take over the role. So yeah, attacking midfield is what we need, because we didn't have the link up at the end of the season between the forwards and the midfield, so that would be excellent signing.
Okay. And Watford is reportedly interested in someone who you would think wouldn't be interested in Watford after last season's game.
Yeah, Borriello is a quality little player, but he's had a bit of an attitude problem in the past. He refused to play for West Brom at the beginning of the season because he thought he was going to Tottenham, and then all of a sudden that fell through, and all of a sudden he loved West Brom again. We've put a bid in for him. They said it's to join Deeney and Igalo up front. He's a quality little player. If we can get the best out of him, he would be a great foil for Deeney. But it's an unusual one. It came from the left field, that's for sure.
Do you think it will happen?
It all depends whether Tottenham have lost interest in him from last summer. If Tottenham have completely lost interest, then there's definitely a possibility, because there's no other bigger clubs going in for him.
Right, okay. Talking of clubs being interested in players, Watford have released a few players a couple of weeks ago, so we briefly talked about it. One of them has claimed that Watford treated him really badly. Yeah,
and I must say I'm not surprised at this story. Uchi Kapisa came 3 years ago from Reading, under 18, and we paid a lot of money for him, $300,000 for a player that never played in the first team, but he was a high scorer in the under 18s, and he was never given a chance at the club, which is a real shame. I personally wanted to see him play, see what he was capable of, and we just kept loaning him out to lots of different clubs, Crewe, Doncaster, Blackpool, and he was scoring some goals, but he says he never ever had contact with the club in all the time he was away. Every time we kept trying to set up meetings, no one would return his calls, and unfortunately at the end of the day he only found out about he was being released in the press, the same as the fans, and that's not a great way to treat a player.
No. But I think it is a tragedy, isn't it? Because I don't mean in the way that, say, Joe Cox was, but for the players involved, because that's often all they know. To get to have a chance of becoming a professional footballer, they've got to commit everything to it, and things can easily go wrong for them.
Yeah, they can, and they need the support of their home club. Okay, he says he didn't feel like a Watford player because he never played for us, but I would have expected to have a better support structure for him. So it's a shame it hasn't come through. He'll get a gig at maybe a second division or maybe even a first division club, and I wish him well. But it's a shame that we, in the last couple of years, we've not brought through any youngsters at all, and it speaks of a problem at the academy level to me.
Okay. Athletics, now that's a sport we don't usually cover, but there was a big meeting in Watford, Woodside on Wednesday, and people were looking for Olympic qualification times.
Yeah, a specially arranged meeting for athletes to try to get their Olympic qualification times, because we're running out. It's very soon this weekend, I think, next weekend, the British Athletics tournament, so the actual qualifying tournament. But to qualify, it doesn't matter whether you win that, you actually have to have had the qualifying time at some time during the season. So there was lots of people going for them, and the unluckiest of all was Charlene Thomas, who was 0.100 of a second outside the qualifying time. So she's having to battle on and try to find one more race to try to gain that extra 100 per second. It's a real shame to fail by such a short distance, and just hope she can get that time before the qualifiers.
Okay, that's great. Cricket. It doesn't seem like a great summer for cricket with all the rain that we've had around and everything, and the rain has had an effect on the Watford Observer 14 Shield and Plate. Yeah,
the quarterfinals were supposed to happen last week, and two of them were completely rained off, and they couldn't get any play at all. So they've had to put back the semi-finals. So this week they're going to try to get North Church versus Kings Langley played, and the winner of that will be playing West Herts on the Wednesday 29th of June, and Leverstock Green versus Frogmore, and the winner of that will be playing on the following day, on the Thursday, against Watford Town.
Okay. And Radley Cricket Club go on and continue going from strength to strength.
Yeah, just keep on ploughing the runs on and the wins. Radley beat Potters by 6 wickets thanks to an unbeaten 73 by the fabulously named John Smuts. I like that. That made me laugh. And so after 5 games, they're unbeaten in the league, and tomorrow they're away to mid-table Hertford. That's 11:30 start.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for that, Neil. It's good to see you back. And,
okay, thank you.
It seems as if the football season's never ended, what with the Euros on, and now the football fixtures are out, and so no doubt there'll be lots for you to comment on over the next few weeks.
Yeah, we'll be starting the friendlies as well soon, so it's a 12 all year round sport now.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for that, Neil, and we'll catch up with you next week. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Catherine.
Hello.
Hello. Homestart, the local Watford charity, and we talked a little bit about them because they had a big funding crisis last year.
Yeah.
And they've just been nominated by Sainsbury's in Watford at the Dome Roundabout as one of their possible charities, and they're asking for people to vote.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, if I'll post the link up after this, like I normally do. But yeah, so a lot of the supermarkets do this sort of scheme where they have a nominated charity for the year and actively fundraise for them. It's not just that. There's a meeting and greeting and presentations in the store, but they are asking for a public vote. So you'll need to go to the link online. And vote for your favourite charity. I'm not sure whether it's a fixed portion of money that then gets allocated to the specific charities. I'd have to just read the details on it. But anyway, Homestart are asking for your support in being their Sainsbury's nominated charity. Go online and all the public vote details should be there.
Yeah. Now, the Starlight Walk in Watford is taking place in July. But the Hospices from Francis have one taking place in June, and you need to register soon.
Yes, that's right. Again, I'll post details of all the online stuff. But yeah, this is for the Hospice of St Francis. They're running a midnight walk. Not running. They're holding a midnight walk on Saturday the 25th of June. It's at Hemel Hempstead School. Registration is 9 o'clock. The walk is at 10. But you can sign up before then as well. Sign up before midnight on Tuesday the 21st of June. And they're asking that you drape yourselves in all things neon to light up the night, get spattered by fluorescent bubbles and glow in the dark. Yeah, this sounds brilliant. Anyone over the age of 10 excuse me, can join in the fun from 9 o'clock at the Hemel Hempstead School. Before taking your glow to the streets. There'll be fun and entertainment around the streets, lots of surprises, fantastic prizes for the top fundraiser as well. Raise as much as you can, and you can win a fantastic prize of a luxury night away for 2 at the Shendish Manor Hotel, and 3-course dinner and a bottle of bubbles in the hotel's enchanting Orangery restaurant. Again, you can register online. Registration is £20 per adult, £15 per child, age 10 to 17. Get involved, come and join in and raise money for a great cause.
Okay, that's great. And Michael Sobel, the hospice there, have a charity golf day coming up soon.
Yeah, something a bit different, something a bit more corporate. Charity golf day. You can register your interest online and enjoy a great day's golf at the beautiful Sandy Lodge Golf Club in Northwood. Which is a regional open qualifying venue. I'm guessing that means something quite prestigious in golfing terms. I think it's a really nice golf course anyway. Entry for a team of 4 costs £360. Play is followed by a 3-course dinner and presentation of prizes. The number of teams is limited to 24. To secure your team's place, ring Stephen on 01923 825 173. All the details are online. Corporate sponsorship opportunities are available, and there's another number to phone for that as well. You can download all the information on a leaflet from the website. You can also see photos of the event they held last year. This one's going to be held on the 23rd of June between 10 in the morning and 9 in the evening. Fantastic.
Okay, and that's Thursday, isn't it? 23rd?
Yes. Yes, indeed. Something else is happening Thursday. I don't know what it is. We might come to that later.
Yes, exactly. Last weekend, we interviewed Kevin French and talked about the event that was happening at Bushy Sports Club. And tomorrow there's a family fun day. Or, sorry, Sunday there's a family fun day sponsored by the Watford Observer taking place at the same venue. Obviously, it's a place to go.
I'm still confused about whether it's the Bushy Sports Club or whether it's the Met Police Bushy Sports Club, because the Facebook page says Met Police Bushy Sports Club. We're all confused about what it is, but we all know where it is. That's the main thing. Yeah, you're right. This is happening on Sunday from 12 noon till 5 in the afternoon. There'll be stalls and foods and drinks and lots of games and things for the kids. Under 16s are free. I can't see what the charge is if you're over 16. I'm guessing it's not going to be a huge amount. They're obviously raising money for a good cause. But yeah, this is a family fun day out on Sunday at the Met Police Bushy Sports Club. Nice. Yep. Baldwin Road.
Yes. Yeah. Now, the London 10K run is coming up in the middle of July, but the reason we talk about it now is that Michael Green have got some runners in it.
Indeed we have, yeah. If you have a look on the Michael Green website, michaelgreenfoundation.org website, you'll see that on our diary page, there is an event all about the British 10K. We've got 16 runners altogether. Some of them have their donation pages up already. One such team is the Watford Hospital team, which is run and captained by Lisa, Neal's other half, which we're very, very grateful for. We look forward to seeing them on the day, and we look forward to everybody else coming down and supporting all the runners on the day. In the meantime, you can go online and say on the charity's website is the Michael Green Foundation .org, and you can find the donation page through there. It's a click through. It's very, very easy to find it. Sponsor a runner. They will need your support. Thank you.
Okay. And Watford Women's Centre Plus have a charity night coming up.
Indeed. July the 19th. When is that? That's Sunday again. No, it isn't. No, sorry, that's June, isn't it? Gosh, no, we're in July. Tuesday, July the 19th. I'm rushing ahead here. So put this date in your diary. Tuesday, July the 19th, 8 o'clock in the evening until a minute before midnight. At the Horns in Watford, they're having a special musical evening featuring O'Connell and Love, the V1s. So all the information is on the Facebook page. This is a charity night for the Watford Women's Centre, raising money for this local centre, and all the good work that they do for the women that need it. The main band performing is O'Connell and Love. It's the latest incarnation of Larry Love and his longtime songwriting partner Brendan O'Connell, who co-wrote much of Larry's first solo album, Ghost Flight, which comes with a huge acclamation from Chris Christopherson. There's a few familiar names banded around there. They come with a history behind them that's got to be something to look out for. So go on down to the Horns on Tuesday, July the 19th at 8 o'clock.
Okay, that's great. And I happen to know they also have another concert planned for October time, and they have a comedy night planned for early December. So obviously Watford Women's Centre are doing a lot of fundraising, and they do need it because they, like a lot of charities locally, have lost all of their local government funding. Okay, carrying on with the theme of the Horns, this evening we've got Andy Robb again.
Yay!
It's Andy's gig tonight.
Now I have a feeling he's going to be playing 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and more. That's the whole range. It's just music. He's playing music all night. So all the oldies and a few newies and everything else in between. It's £3 to get in. You can get in from 9 o'clock in the evening and party right through till 1 o'clock in the morning. Be quiet, leaving for the neighbours' sake.
McVicar are playing tomorrow night.
Absolutely. McVicar are a four-piece rock covers band. I'm guessing there might be a few Who tracks in there. McVicar was a film that Roger Daltrey starred in years ago. Quite a violent film, actually, but it was Roger Daltrey, it's The Who. So I'd imagine there's a few rocky numbers by The Who in there as well. This is a free night. It's on Saturday, June the 18th, tomorrow night. I say it's free from 9 o'clock. Go and boogie along down to some rocky numbers.
Okay, and on Sunday, late afternoon, early evening, there's another gig by Radar Love.
Yep, absolutely. This is another free one. You can enjoy this from 4 in the afternoon through till 7. Radar Love, the four-piece function band. So if you've got a function coming up, a party, a corporate event, a wedding, perhaps, have a word with them. See if they can see if they can do your dates. So that's tomorrow night from 4. No, Sunday, sorry, from 4.
Okay, and talking of tomorrow night, Yellow Comedy have another gig.
Yes. Oh, yes. I haven't got that page up. Why haven't I got that page up? There we go.
They're at Attico tomorrow, 7 for 7:30.
Indeed. Headliner is Dmitry Bakanov. Doors open at 7. Comedy starts at 7:30. Free to get in, not so free to get out. Watch out for the bucket, if there's a bucket. It might still be a bag. I don't know.
No, I think the bag has now got private place. Actually.
Oh, fine. Okay, so it's the bag. Also appearing are Patrick Brusnahan, I think that is, Maddie Campion, Kelsey D. Almeida, Eileen Harris, Sam Smedley, and Lee Wilson, and of course expertly emceed by Andrew Carberry. Everybody going to that, have a fabulous time. I would love to be there, but I might be in London.
Oh dear, that's not an excuse.
No! No, I would love to be there. I was going to be there. Then I got some free tickets to go to the Stone Free Festival at the O2, so I might just have to go there and see Alice Cooper instead. But there you go.
Tough one, that. Tough one. Okay, a little more down to earth from Alice Cooper. The Coliseum tonight is Grumpy Old Women.
Absolutely, yes. Anybody fancy a good old moan? Well, this is where you need to be tonight. 50 Shades of Beige is their tour. It's on tonight. What time is it on tonight? 8 o'clock this evening. Tickets from £26. There might still be a few left. There might not. You might have to hurry. But yeah, they've been on TV. This is Perrier Award-winning comedian, writer, and original star of Grumpy Old Women, Jenny Eclair, will be joined by fellow recruits Susie Blake from Mrs. Brown's Boys, BBC One, Coronation Street, ITV1, and actress and singer Kate Robbins from Where the Heart Is and Casualty. It's a jam-packed show. There's lots of moaning, obviously, going on, some grumpy grooming, the joy of large pants, and a free nagging masterclass, something for all the ladies, I think. So enjoy, everybody who's going along to that. And that's at Watford Coliseum tonight.
Okay. When I checked earlier on this afternoon, there were still free tickets then. So not tickets available, I should say.
Not free, definitely not free.
Tickets available.
Cool.
Sunday, it's the Simon and Garfunkel story at the Coliseum.
Indeed, yeah, returning to the Coliseum, so obviously back by popular demand on its 50th anniversary tour. But they've got brand new for 2016, a direct from its success at the London West End, a sold-out UK tour, standing ovations at every performance. So again, get in there quickly to get your tickets. There may still be a few left. They're using huge projection photos and original film footage. So obviously celebrating some film footage along with the live band playing all the songs and everything as well. So it sounds like if you're a fan of Simon and Garfunkel, they're going to be playing all the hits. Mrs. Robinson, Cecilia, Bridge Over Troubled Waters, Homeward Bound, and many, many more. Tickets are, I don't know how much tickets are actually. Don't know. You have to look on the website. Should say how much. Oh, here we go. Tickets from $19.50 or $17.50, and you can get discounts on groups of 8 or more. But like I said, there might not be many left now. It's obviously a very popular one.
Okay, that's great. And a quick heads up for the Saturday 25th and Tropicana Nights with DJ Pat Sharp.
Yay! Who doesn't like Pat Sharp? I remember Pat Sharp from Radio 1 days. So Radio 1 DJ. He was also obviously very well known for Funhouse on TV. 12 years he was on Funhouse apparently. And also he was part of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and lots of other things besides. But yeah, this is Tropicana Nights next Saturday, a week tomorrow, that is 25th of June. Tropicana Nights at Watford Coliseum. Yeah, fantastic. From 8 o'clock in the evening. No booking fees on this performance, so just have a look online and get yourself along to that. Fantastic.
Okay. The Palace Theatre now. They have a film on tonight and tomorrow.
Yes, singer-songwriter Hank Williams, played by Tom Hiddleston of the Night Manager fame. He rose to fame in the 1940s, but alcohol abuse and infidelity took a toll on his career and his marriage to fellow musician Audrey Mae Williams, played by Elizabeth Olsen, before his tragic demise. So yeah, this is film screening. It's Certificate 15. It's on tonight from 7:30 for £8. Concessions are £6.50, or tomorrow at 2:30 and 7:30. So you've got today and tomorrow as opportunities to go and see it. Obviously a popular one. Tom Hiddleston is flavour of the month at the moment. So that's I Saw the Light at Watford Palace Theatre.
Okay, that's great. Tomorrow afternoon, if you're under 15, there's a separate showing of Jungle Book for you.
Yes, and this is not Disney's Jungle Book, quite a different Jungle Book, with a whole host of celebs involved in this one, including Idris Elba, Ben Kingsley, Bill Murray, Scarlett Johansson, and various others. Obviously, the story of the Jungle Book, we all know the story, but told in quite a different way. If you want to have a little idea of what it actually is and how it looks, go onto the Watford Palace Theatre website and you can actually play the trailer for it and decide if it's for you. But yeah, this is showing tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock in the morning. It's a 3D Palace family screening, 3D at Watford Palace Theatre, and that's £4.50. Age rating PG. Anybody can see this. But yeah, looks good.
Okay, that's great. Something completely different. If you'll excuse the
very theatrical.
We have the Barber of Seville, live from Glyndebourne.
Indeed, Glyndebourne. I say Glyndebourne. You say Glyndebourne. How interesting.
Yeah, up down south.
Indeed. I think somebody ought to ask Gareth Malone how it's actually pronounced. But well, I'm going to say Glyndebourne then. Festival Opera, Barber of Seville, classic stuff. directed by Annabelle Arden, with sparkling wit and playful energy, springing directly from Rossini's joyous music, and conducted by Enrique Mazzola. This production heralds the welcome return of a masterpiece not seen at Limbourne for 33 years. International and Limbourne favourite Danielle Denise stars as Rossini. And it's included in the London Philharmonic Orchestra and the Glyndebourne Chorus. I think I've said it several ways now, actually. It's sung in Italian. There's English subtitles. This is on Tuesday, the 1st of June at 6:30. £15, no concessions. Be there at 6:30.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Glyndebourne is a world famous festival of opera, and it's a great opportunity to see some great acts at a reasonable price.
Absolutely. Well, the reason I mentioned Gareth Rouleau was he did a series, and they were doing, I think it was one of his choirs, must have been one of the choirs, and the ultimate performance was at the festival. That's what he was gearing them all up for, and it was quite spectacular. But yeah, cool.
Yeah, exactly. On Wednesday and Thursday, there's a different type of film.
Absolutely. If you like Ewan McGregor, then I'll probably see you there. This is Our Kind of Traitor. It's 15 certificates, British spy thriller based on a novel by John le Carré. Ewan McGregor and Naomi Harris star as a couple who find themselves embroiled with a Russian oligarch and high-profile money launderer while on holiday in Marrakesh, as you do, leaving them dangerously positioned between the Russian mafia and the British Secret Service. Again, have a look at the clip on Watford Palace Theatre. It's brilliant. And this is showing on Wednesday, the 22nd of June, 7:30, and Thursday, the 23rd of June, also at 7:30. £8, concession £6.50. If you have a rumour ticket, if you're age 16 to 25, you can get a rumour ticket, and you can get in for £4, which is just fantastic. Film starts at 7:30.
Okay, great. Now, at the beginning of the show, I talked a bit in the news section about how Imagine Watford was coming back for its 6th season. It's the duties before them on you to pick a few highlights from the first couple of days.
Yeah, as you said, this is from the 24th of June to the 3rd of July. So it's a 2-week festival of national and internationally acclaimed street art and performance. As we mentioned briefly before, like you said, it really is quite a spectacular thing. And whenever you go into the town during that 2-week period, you're never quite sure what you're going to get, what you're going to find. There's different performance stages up and down the high street. Obviously, the main one is, bless you, nobody can see that you sneeze, but I saw. There's different performance stages. The main one is by the pond, just outside Reason Coffee Shop, Neal's place, where there's a big performance area that's been specially built. But there are other stages further down the high street as well. And even if it's not a dance performance or, jugglers or acrobatics or cyclists or whatever, there might just be a band performing as part of the festival. So it's definitely worth popping on down to the high street at different times of day. But if you want to know specifically what's on when, then do go to the website, which is imaginewatford.co.uk, and you'll see all the details on there. On Friday the 24th, you've got Corey Baker, dance presents Phone Box. No, this is, I mean, I don't know who was in town the other day that saw the big bus and the dance sequences going on around that. If you can dance with a double-decker bus, you can certainly dance with a phone box. So that looks pretty fascinating. Also on Friday the 24th, you've got Dizzy O'Dare presenting Body of Wires. Now, that looks like it's something to do with high wires, balancing acts and that sort of thing. But there's lots and lots of things going on. There's other things going on the Friday. On Saturday, the 25th, you've got Crazy Bikes. Also on Saturday and Sunday, you've got The Girl Who Fell in Love with the Moon. So that's going to be a theatrical production of some sort. They've usually got some chairs out. It's also an idea perhaps to take your own chairs sometimes as well, because there can be quite a crowd at these things. But yeah, there's lots and lots going on. And so have a look at the website, imaginewatford.co.uk. It really is a celebration of all things theatrical, musical, and dance related. There really is something for everyone there.
Yeah. And of course, all the events are free, and you don't need a ticket to go. So it's a great way of getting out and about on what will hopefully be a nice warm summer's evening.
Pray for sun.
Or afternoon. Okay, that's great. Thank you for that, Catherine. You'll be back a bit later on with the review section, but before we do, I'm just going to talk about Link for Growth events in the next coming week. On Sunday, Chris is holding a Link for Breakfast at the Junction Cafe, or hosting, I should say, which is Junction Cafe is on the corner of St Albans Road and Station Road, and it's between 10 and 12. And so apparently they do a really good traditional English breakfast there. So if you want to find out more about Link for Growth, you want to find out what it is, what it does, that sort of thing, then do go along and join Chris for breakfast on Sunday at the Junction Cafe on St Albans Road between 10 and 12. On Tuesday, there's an opportunity for Chris to try the lemon drizzle cake at the kitchen Croxley again between 10 and 11:30 in a coffee morning there at Link for Coffee. And that is hosted by Linda Anderson, who you also saw earlier on talking to Chris about the Croxley Revels. They're usually well-attended events, and the cakes there are absolutely fabulous. So if you want to go along, meet people, enjoy some fabulous cake, have a nice cup of coffee at the same time, and get to meet people in the local community, discuss what happened on Saturday at the Revel event perhaps, then do go along between 10 and 11:30. And then on Thursday, there's a new Link for Coffee in Bushy, which is at LG's Coffee House, which is in Attenborough Court, Owen Square, which is down near Bushy Arches. The postcode for those of sat nav is WD19 4FN. That event starts slightly earlier than some other coffee events, and it starts at 9:30 and goes until 11 o'clock. This event will always take place on the 4th Thursday of the month. So please do go along, and you heard Chris talking about it a lot and promoting it last week. So please do go along if you're in the Bushy area and want to meet some new people. Catherine.
Hello.
Been a busy week for you on the review front, hasn't it?
I don't know.
Last week you were dashing off for Adamant. Coldplay as well. And rumour has it you've also been out and had several restaurant meals.
I might have done. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
What are you going to review for us today?
Okay. Well, my little surprise this week was Middleton's. Now, this is somewhere that we'd heard about for a while, never actually managed to get there. I think they've been open probably about a year, maybe a little less. But they're basically in that little corner of restaurants down at the lower half of the main high street, not far from Attico, actually, just opposite the main entrance to Into. They're where Banana Tree used to be, basically, when the whole thing first opened. But this is called Middleton's, and they're a steakhouse and grill. Now, we were basically celebrating an early Father's Day last weekend, so steak was definitely on the menu for us. They do a whole range of other things. They do, for instance, one of their sharers are a set of skewers, and you can choose lots of different chicken skewers with different flavourings and things on them, and you can mix and match them. There's lots of sharing boards. There's a seafood board to share. There's the Middleton's board to share, which is lots of meaty things and some garlic mushrooms thrown in for good measure. There's a vegetarian board to share, which actually is the one that I shared with my daughters, where you had garlic mushrooms, a baked camembert to dip everything in, vegetable and halloumi skewers, and mixed breads and olives. It was a fantastic way to start the meal. And then, of course, we all had steak afterwards. You can have it done any way you like. There's a whole selection of steaks, and they were absolutely fantastic, cooked to perfection. And bearing in mind that we all like them done different ways, there was great attention to detail. The staff were friendly. We were welcomed very warmly when we walked in. The service was fantastic. The whole atmosphere was quite buzzy, but not too loud. So you can actually have a conversation for those of us that like to talk over a meal. It was great. I thoroughly recommend it, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to going back.
Okay, that sounds absolutely fabulous, and it's great that you've got such a positive review.
Yes.
Which is really good because the competition down there is really stiff because there's a whole series of really good restaurants.
It's fierce, actually, and particularly on the meat front. You've got Meat and Shake just over the road. You've got burger places down there, with more to come with the new developments and things coming up. So actually they really do need to be a cut above. All these restaurants really need to be on their best behaviour the whole time in order to draw in new customers and also repeat customers. So yeah, it was glowing reports at Middleton's.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much for that, and thank you for coming on the show and telling us about all that events that are happening and all the charity news. Also, thank you to Chris and to Linda for talking about Croxley Revel, and to Neal, who was talking about the sport. Hopefully next week Tania will be back with us, and we hope that you've enjoyed the show. If you do want to get in touch with us, if you want to promote an event, talk about an event, then please use the Twitter handle that you can see below my name. That's at L4G SW Herts. And if you want Chris to come along and talk to you about and help promote your event, then please do let us know about it and contact us via Twitter or Facebook. And we look forward to hearing from you. So thank you to Catherine, thank you to Neal, Chris and Linda. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.